Hello, everyone. My name is Spencer Walsh. Welcome to the show today. And on the show, Trump is in another fight with John McCain. And give you an update on New Zealand. John Hickenlooper kills his presidential chances. Dying chances of a Trump impeachment. And the teams behind Mike Gravel. We're going to meet them on the show today. We got a great batch of stories for you here on this Thursday. Yeah, we're very busy. We're very happy to have you. So let's get right into it. We start with this. We start with John McCain. And really, as Washington waits for signs that Robert Mueller's Russia report may finally be ready, President Trump has created the headline after headline by tearing down his perceived enemies, both living and dead. Yeah, completely normal guy, as always. He's lashed out at the special counsel, his senior advisor's husband, George Conway, and a frequent source of ire, the late Senator John McCain. The former naval aviator and prisoner of war in Vietnam didn't get the job done for our vets, Trump said during a 5-minute diatribe in his speech ostensibly on manufacturing jobs at a tank plant in Lima, Ohio. So yeah, he was really just took him to task in this incredible situation. He really just absolutely destroyed John McCain, which is really kind of a crappy thing to do. I mean, really, no matter what, I don't know how much Democrats should feel free, because I mean, again, you know my thoughts on John McCain. I've done a video on it before on my YouTube channel, and I've said on this show, he's done good things, he's done some bad things, and John McCain, yeah, I mean, the imprint he's going to leave on this earth is not entirely positive, in my opinion. And I'm not one of those guys who's like singing the praises of John McCain, not by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, he says, I gave him the kind of funeral he wanted, which as president I had to approve, Trump inaccurately claimed. He added, I didn't get a thank you. Which is, Jesus Christ, like, just saying that about anyone in any case it's gonna be a facepalm moment. The full-throated repudiation of this entire situation is really kind of stunning, because it's like, again, he's just unnecessarily just making his he's just really unnecessarily planning to make his Republican colleagues mad, and it just seems to be so completely unnecessary, and I can't even believe that he is trying to do that. So McCain had been really kind of an obsession for Trump in the 2016 campaign, when Trump first stated that McCain was not a war hero, but the continued rebukes of Trump or McCain 7 months after his death came against the advice of Trump's own aides. He just really can't help it, which is pretty incredible. The exasperated advisors have encouraged him to repeatedly drop the issue, but his grudge against McCain is particularly visceral, according to current and former aides. So yeah, he's got he's got his whipping boy, and it's just going to happen. I mean, the guy's dead. He's not going to do anything more on this earth. Trying to start any more wars, thank goodness. But I mean, just for I don't even like the family either. Like, you can kind of see how it's kind of just tormenting me. Before I was like kind of trying to decide where to go in this, but it's. I mean, on the other hand, I don't have any great love for John McCain. But I mean, I'm just not the kind of person to attack people who are dead like that. It's just a overall incredibly crappy thing to do. Just forgetting about even the man who John McCain is. So yeah. Some close to the president have attributed his frustrations to worrying about the looming report, interestingly enough, on the Russia election interference from the special counsel's office, which he mocked Wednesday on the South Lawn of the White House en route to Ohio, while others said he simply has a few advisors to restrain him from airing his grievances. A former White House staffer told Power Up he believes that McCain was out to jeopardize him by passing the dossier to conflicted individuals within the intelligence community. So that's apparently what he did. He tried to spread this. This is what he believes that McCain did. I don't know if he actually did it here, which was he like tried to pass around the dossier to hurt Trump in some shape or form. Yeah, and if that were the case, it wouldn't be. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, he believes McCain was out to jeopardize him by passing down this dossier. So, yeah, the thing that Trump and everyone in the White House remembers that he changed his mind on is healthcare and tanked everything. A former Trump administration official told the Washington Post. That doesn't mean he wasn't a hero, but it means that every Republican said repeal in place, and this is the one guy that screwed up. That's a legacy. I mean, he does have a little bit of a point about that. I mean, thank God he did. It was one of the few good things he did, where he actually cared about the people. Like I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat. I don't care if you're an alien. Like, it's not that hard to see that this bill, that this healthcare proposal would have been incredibly detrimental to anyone in their own district or whatever. I don't even care. It's just like the fact that he let that happen. The fact that Trump proposed that is, I mean, it's really kind of shocking that he did vote against it. But again, you do give him credit. Trump was kicked off yesterday by Kellyanne Conway's husband George, a stone cold loser and husband from hell. Former President Barack Obama, meanwhile, was tweeting about how to help those impacted by the flooding in the Midwest and the cyclone victims in Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. In the end, Trump just can't be stopped when he has something on his mind, and his aides know that better than anyone. There's been some pretty strong condemnations from Republicans, though, including Chip Roy, Johnny Isaacson. They've all said, and Mitt Romney's was my favorite, I simply can't understand why the president would once again disparage a man as exemplary as my friend John McCain. Heroic, courageous, patriotic, honorable, self-effacing, self-sacrificing, empathetic. Yeah, you get the idea. But, like, you can't understand why he would do it. Like, were you in a coma through the rest since 2015? Like, do you know who this man is? Have you ever met Donald Trump before? Like, he is a little bit of a grudge holder, a little bit of a nasty guy. Just a little bit. I mean, he's the type of guy who's going to talk awfully about someone 7 months after they died. Like, it's just that simple. Chip Roy, a Texas Republican, weighed in. I disagree with Boda standing in front of an M1A1 Abrams tank and the American flag and spending time trashing the POW veteran and former U.S. Senator John McCain as the commander-in-chief, characterizing our time in fighting in the Middle East as an unqualified disaster. The biggest problem he has is saying our time fighting in the Middle East was an unqualified disaster, which it was. He was right about that if he did say that. But again, the John McCain stuff, it doesn't really matter. But, to be honest, though, I really doubt the conservative base, like the real Trump base, his supporters. I don't think they like John McCain very much at all because, you know why? Trump doesn't like John McCain. It's a complete cult. Like, he's under they're under his control, and whatever they say, whatever Trump says about John McCain, those MAGA judges, they're going to believe it. It's that simple. And then, of course, Mitch McConnell didn't even mention him by name. What a joke. All right, so we now just want to tell you something quickly about what's going on in Boeing. Very, very disturbing. The Justice Department issued multiple subpoenas as part of and their watchdog organization has opened an investigation about how the acting defense secretary, Patrick Shanahan, violated ethics rules by taking actions to promote Boeing after leaving the aerospace company and accepting a top job at the Pentagon. So that's swamp behavior. All right. Now, that's some news from Boeing. Definitely going to keep an eye on that. Expect to hear that more on Newsflash and other future shows. And by the way, new episode of Newsflash tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, a former geologist and underdog candidate for 2020 with an easy-to-mock name, went on CNN for a town hall last night, I think. It was an attempt to buoy his currently minuscule presidential chances. Instead, Hickenlooper sunk them, is what he did. So Dana Bash asked him the question, Governor, some of your male competitors have vowed to put a woman on the ticket. Yes or no, would you do the same? So, let's see what he said. Here. And this should probably, like, as we were thinking about this should probably be a one-word answer, right? It's simple enough. Here's the clip. Here's what he said.
Governor, some of your male competitors have vowed to put a woman on the ticket. Yes or no? Would you do the same?
Well, again, of course. But
I heard about. But first of all, you just have to say, of course. Like, that's literally it. Even if you're against it, but just like, again, maybe you're against it, maybe you say something less dumb than what he's about to say. It's pretty rough. All right, so here's what he had to say on this front.
I think that we should be. Well, I'll ask you another question. How come we aren't
asking the question?
I know, I know, but how come we're not asking more often the women? Would you be willing to put a man on the ticket?
When we get to that point, I'll ask you that question.
Exactly, Tatum Patch probably with the most logical response to a really dumb question. Literally no doubt. Asking, how come we're not asking women more often? Would you put a man on the ticket? Like, are you familiar with the presidents and vice presidents of this country? Like, are you aware? Like, what? I mean, has there been any women vice presidents yet? I mean, maybe I'm just, like, if you look at the history line, it's man, 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 man. Why? That's not a logical thing to say. Like, gee, this guy, oh my God. Oh, never seen a facepalm moment quite like that. Oof, gotta move on. And this guy who's gonna say, yeah, well, why don't we ask women, put a man on the ticket, and also Medicare for all stinks. So yeah, he's out of my radar, that's for sure. Yeah, our idiotic president, as I'm sure you know, is just as bad today as he was at every other time in his presidency, if not worse. And yet, according to a new poll from CNN, support for his impeaching the president has dropped considerably among Democrats since December. The drop is attributed to changing attitudes from top Democrats like Nancy Pelosi, who's come out against impeachment in recent days. The poll was conducted by the market research firm SSRS, who found that support for impeachment among all Americans has fallen from 43% in December to 36% now. Most of the drop is among Democrats, whose support for impeachment has dropped 12 points from 80 to 68% over that period. Support for impeachment among Republicans and independents was only fallen 3 points. Weirdly, college-educated people saw the biggest drop from 50% support among college grads in December, 35% now. So it's a pretty precipitous drop there. Pelosi has spoken repeatedly to the press about her anti-impeachment stance, a confusing one for the leader of the party, so clearly supported the idea as recently as December. She said, among other things, the impeachment is a bad idea because it would be so divisive to the country. And yeah, again, that's really why I have to stop her, because divisive to the country shouldn't matter if we have a dangerous president. Like, if the president has committed an impeachable offense, like high crimes and misdemeanors obviously is the standards for impeachable offense. Like, we know that. But the question is, are you really going to are you really going to ring him up for anything? Does anything fall under that standard yet? If it does, yes, please do. You have to impeach him. It's within your responsibility. It's really within your responsibility to do, which is maintain and do impeachment, like, at all costs. Like, you got to do it. It's just that simple. But if there's no impeachment, it just seems like you're wasting your time, and there's no good benefit. Like, you're just going to dig yourself a deeper hole. Like, but I really don't know if we've reached that threshold yet. But if we have, then in my opinion, the idea is go for it. So yeah, other Democrats such as Rashida Tlaib with her famous comment, "Impeach the mother effer," was made last January. She obviously supports it. Representatives, including Al Green of Texas, have said this month that they're still gunning for impeachment. This is not about the speaker. It wasn't about the speaker before she became speaker, and it's not about the speaker now, Green said at a news conference last week. It's not about any one person. It's really not even about the president as much as what he's doing. It's about his behavior that's harmful to society. Trump obsessive Representative Adam Schiff also still carrying the torch for impeachment on the Democratic side as well. We've already seen deeply concerning evidence of the president's lack of fitness for office, as well as evidence of criminality based on the president's related to the direction and coordination of a legal campaign finance scheme